Premier Web Integration Package is, it's not quite unique, it's absolutely unique as far as the offering. The Web Integration Package was born out of an observation of our partners. We were finding that, as most software manufacturers do, we have certain APIs, Application Programming Interface. We have certain APIs that you can program against to integrate into our system. We were finding that the partners working on this integration were taking anywhere from 2 to 6 months to get it done, generally about 2 to 3 with outliers, and then spending between $6,000 and $10,000 with outliers of 15 to 20 to complete this integration work. And those that didn't have the resources, whether internal or just funds to hire external resources to do this, still wanted to take advantage of these items, but just simply didn't have the money to get it done. Web development and web design projects they're not simple, but time-consuming. They're very easy to get off track. So we wanted to help our partners by productizing, what people were using the APIs for. And we came up with the Web Integration Package. So Web Integration Package, we ask that you provide us with a domain, point at that domain to our DNS, and then we're going to give you this web package. And with the web package, you have the ability to create, upgrade, cancel accounts, change account information, all the plug into the APIs. And then over the year, we've built in all these additional features. We have integration into billing. So you can simply plug in your PayPal or your Authorize.net merchant account information and start accepting money for payment through the shopping cart that's included with the web package. There's also a mass email tool where you can use for campaign emails for new sales or subscription mailers for existing customers. A nice way to stay in touch. There's also a nice stat against that mailer that shows you all the different tools you have to do that. Really great stuff. There's a basic support ticketing system built into the web package as well, for those of you who don't have that. And then, of course, a content management system. So you have a really nice, if you're familiar with Joomla or WordPress, then you'll be right at home here. Gives you access to change the global metadata for your website, so title, keywords, description, and also lets you edit that information per page. So those of you who have always been interested in getting into a little SEO or who are looking to launch some SEO efforts, this package does allow you to do that. So it really is nice. It comes with some default pages, and then you're responsible to edit out the content and make sure it's the messaging you want. But we're giving you the tool to do that. If you do need additional web design help, or if you wanted to get outside of the templates that we limit you to as a standard, we do have a strategic development partner that we can introduce you to, and they'll give you a fully customized website. Even if you need a new logo, we can start as early as logo design, and very much under market price. You talk to your partner specialist, and they'll let you know what you can do for that. The mobile applications, Android, iPhone, BlackBerry, as we release those ourselves, we'll be releasing generic versions as well. The iPhone application is one where we have to submit the application, even generically branded, as SOS Online Backup. So it will be published by SOS, but will not have SOS on the application name. Any questions on the package of services? We have a couple questions in here that I'll answer. First one is, can we have the presentation later on? Absolutely. So if you go to the website where you registered for the presentation, we have SOSOnlineBackup.com. We have all the recorded ones from past sessions available on the website. So this specific session will be made available probably by Monday or Tuesday next week. Steve asks, is billing available in Great British Pounds and plus VAT for UK? We do have different units, so you can have Sterling, EU, Australian, Canadian, and US dollars set. Another one from Steve, other data centers in the UK or all US based? Data protection stops a lot of customers from backing up outside the UK or EU. Absolutely, understood. So we do have data centers all over the world, and you can request for your data to specifically reside in a certain region. So we have our heaviest data center populations here in the States. We have 5 data centers here in the States. We have 1 in Canada, 1 in the UK, 1 in Kiev, 1 in Chennai, and 1 in Australia. So as you come on board and as you're introduced to the partner delivery team, who is a team who's going to be working with you to make sure that the customizations we're making are what you're expecting, just let them know that you do need to have all of your clients reside in the UK data center, and they'll take care of that for you. All right, moving right along. It's a bit of a server comparison as far as different features. And again, I'll show you where this list is, where you guys can all download this deck as well. But the top portion is listed as V4, and the bottom is listed as V5. V4 is considered to be what we've done since 2001, our file and folder backup. SOS has always been boasted as the best in backup, mainly due to our security and ease of use. So the security behind our system is bar none. And then we have the competitors Carbonite and Mozy, who don't really need the security that we're going for because their primary focus early on were consumers, which according to the graph of who's adopting, it makes a lot of sense. Both have come to move into kind of a pro section, but what we've moved into is server-safe backup, where we're no longer truly competing against these two companies. I guess you would say that Carbonite and Mozy would both be competing against a single piece of what we are now providing. So we have a much more robust offering, and we're just not playing in the same sandbox anymore. Well, we have introduced a new set of competitors. So we have companies like Zenith Infotech, Intronis, i365. Most of which are much more expensive. If you don't require the hardware purchase, then the per gig rate is quite expensive. With our program, again, we designed the whole thing with the intent that our partners are going to be able to go out and make a good amount of money on this. So we lowered our gig rate significantly. So when you're talking to your reps about that, basically our base package allows you to provide a single server seat, so image-based backup and granular recovery for servers, plus about 200 gigs of cloud space, and all at a wholesale cost of somewhere south of $80 per month. And for the most part, that's cheaper than what most of you may charge for just a monitoring package for a server, $80 a month. So it really is quite amazing about what we've been able to do as far as dropping this price for you all. What it also does is it means that the scaling of this is much nicer. So you can start off at that one server seat and 200 gigs costing $80 a month, and you can get it down to as low as $50 a month. We have additional cloud packs and server seats that you can purchase as well to really get that down. All right, a couple questions. One from Ken. Do you have to have ServerSave installed someplace to do bare metal system backups, or can you also do full system backups with the regular SOS backup client from a PC or Mac? No, ServerSave, and we'll show it in the demo, is a wrapper application that includes multiple agents. Each agent has a specific role. So we'll go through it. There's an image creator role or agent that just does the image-based backup and image-based recovery. Then there's the online backup portion that is just going to take that information off-site and then pull it back from the cloud location. Doran asked, how about Linux backup in the future? Well, you know, it's a light ETA would be, we may see Image Creator as something that can back up or create images of Linux-based machines sometime in September this year, but it's still a very light plan, so it's not at all set in stone. That's just the way it is. But the online backup would not work from a Linux machine at this point. Camille asks, do the backups include email archiving? Well, what do you mean about email archiving? Robin asks, is this webinar recorded, or can we get a copy of the information given for review? Absolutely. If you go to our website, sosonlinebackup.com, go to Partners, and view a webinar, you'll see a list of recorded webinars that you can then review, and this one will be posted to that list at the beginning of next week. Steve asks, for sites with slower internet connections, do your agents have any WAN compression? Well, we do compress the data before we transfer, so we do want to make it quick. We do have also an article in our knowledge base about a data seeding service. Now, the data seeding is something that is not a physical access to the data center. You're not shipping SOS a drive so that SOS can then walk into the data center and then plug it in. Our security measures and compliances don't really allow that access, and only about 2 people in our whole company have access to walk into the data centers. So what we do is, and you can see the description online, is we give you a way of backing up from a location that has a dedicated machine and has a dedicated pipe to get that initial backup done. It's that initial backup. The online services are front heavy. Getting all that data up to the cloud is going to take a little bit of time, and then from then on, it's not that bad. All right. Does it back up emails? Yes. Yeah, the online backup portion will back up a PST directly. If you're talking about Exchange, then you need to use the Image Creator. Actually, the image in April, we're actually going to be announcing an exciting release where the online backup portion is going to have an Exchange piece built into it. All right, Ken asks, I have a client that has 5 PCs in an office and they don't have a server. How can I provide them with a system backup options to back up their computers in full in case of hard drive failure? Well, Ken, we do have the technology and the set backup desktops. At this point, we have not launched that as an option. So what you could do is, if you have, you can use the Windows backup of that machine, and you can you get that backup file and then back up that file with SOS. But for right now, our recommended backup strategy is workstations and laptops. You back up at a file and folder level. And your servers, you back up both at a file and folder level and in an image-based system. Steve asks, what versions of Exchange work with SOS? Right now, all the latest versions. So the ones that are beta released, pre-release stages. Of course, we don't have full support for it because they haven't even fully launched yet. But Exchange 2003 plus, we're golden. All right, here's here's another edition. This came last November, our 4th PC Mag Editor's Choice Award. So we're very happy about that. And we had a competitive landscape discussion a little more. So again, what we saw in our research of the market is that typical backup solutions, especially going off-site, are quite expensive. We see them around $20, $24 per gig per year. Pretty expensive service. They also are very commonly including or requiring the purchase of some type of hardware just to get to that pricing. So it's really interesting. So we've really jumbled things up a little bit. So as we're shaking the market, this is where we were living. So we were living just in this small segment of the business. So you see on the display I have here, we've divided it up into about 6 different pieces. You know, bare metal cloud, bare metal local, SQL backup, Exchange backup, file folder, online backup, and then mobile backup. And then down the y-axis, we listed the type of target market you're looking at for that type of service. We were very much in the consumer, SMB, file and folder online backup. With the addition of ServerSave, we've made ourselves the only offer on the table currently that we can see that really stretches from end to end. So it hits the whole spectrum. And again, we give you mobile backup, we give you file and folder backup for your desktops and your servers. We give you that to you in an online manner. We have Exchange backup, SQL backup, bare metal backup locally and in the cloud. So it's really quite nice to see that we've broken into a market that was relatively untouched. You still had your go-to hardware giants, in Zenith and Acronis that you're looking at. And we've made the first move into really disrupting that market. So I'm going to open up the software client. Another question was, what was the domain? Okay, or the website. You go to sosonlinebackup.com. So now I'm going to pull up I'm going to sign into a VM here. It's running Server 2008. And this way I can show you what this all looks like. Okay, you should obviously see my desktop now. I'm going to go ahead and launch ServerSave. Okay, so here's the ServerSave login. Now log in with a username and password for the backup account. And this is ServerSave. So I see I have the Acme brand here. It's called Acme Online Backup. And then we're currently in our application view. So we have 3 different tabs here. Application tab, a setup backup tab, which really just shows by use case, how to get to certain applications. For the most part, most of our users just sit in the application tab. Then you have support and manage. Clicks you to the online web portal for your account, and then just links back to your web integration package. For the software we see, we have the online backup and recovery agent. This is the workstation backup that I was talking about. We're not going to go through that today. Then we have bare metal image creator, which is going to create, again, bare metal image backup jobs and recover from those. We also have Exchange granular recovery, pretty self-explanatory. A management agent Pulse, which is being done away with as it's being rolled into our bare metal image stream client, which again is being renamed as online backup and recovery. So first, let's start up and do a bare metal image. Let's create an image-based backup job. So I open this up and I come to the wizard. I have a wizard, I have a disk map, just a Windows volume manager. Don't really need to come in here, it's all handled through the wizard. I have a backup job scheduled. I'm going to go ahead and delete this so I can show you how to create a backup job. Different destination, again, this is covered in the wizard upon recovery or backup. And then the backup history, pretty plain English. You can plug in your RMIMES to look into this. Let's go back to the wizard and create a backup job. First step, let's select the volume that we want to create an image of. I'm going to select, you can select multiple volumes. Some people like to keep it separate. For demo purposes, I'm going to keep it separate just for this Exchange volume. Hit next. Then you would choose your backup destination. So typically we recommend having a staging machine in place. So the staging machine can be, any Windows operating system, Windows, 7, 64-bit. And then the machine you'd want to load up with enough hard drive space and resources, RAM, to handle whatever you'd like that machine to purpose, whether it's just storing the data or if you like it to actually be a recovery environment. We recommend the latter. So not a recovery environment, but a recovery destination. So you'd pick network location. You can find that there. For now, we're just using the F virtual drive. Essentially, this would be if you were using kind of a mapped drive from a NAS. So we select the F drive, and this is where we're going to run backups. So we hit next. Now we schedule. We talked about the change in how you can schedule backups in this system. Well, historically, you would run a backup just as kind of set up by default here. A full backup every Sunday, and then an incremental Monday through Friday. The reason that you would do this, historically, for a number of reasons. One is a full backup of your system may take all day, depending on how big the system is. It could take a long time. So you typically would run that on the weekend because you might need the better part of the day to do that. You also may need to shut down the whole system in order to get a proper backup. So that's another reason that you would do it on the weekend, and you're not going to shut down your production machine in the middle of a production hour. Again, your job as a managed service provider is business continuity. That means productivity. You got to keep that productivity up. You can also provide ways to increase productivity. The other reason that we would do this is because recovery can be quite time-consuming. Historically, you'd have to recover the full image and then each incremental image in sequential order in order to get back to a certain point. Right now, the backup job we have listed has a backup running every 60 minutes between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. or 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. That's way too many backups. This would have never happened for the change in technology we had now. Now we don't need to run this backup that often because the recovery is more intelligent. It automatically appends its recovery chain and will do that for you. You no longer have to do each sequential backup recovery yourself. So then we go to a more reasonable method at that point. We go to continuous incrementals. A continuous incremental means that we're going to run a full backup, and from that point, we're just going to run an incremental backup every hour, ongoing, forever and ever and ever. And the reason we can do this, again, is because we have an intelligent recovery mode now. This also makes it much more viable to get an image-based backup off-site and have it be useful. Imagine you have a file server and it's, let's say it's 500 gigs. We run the image-based backup and it compresses down to 250 gigs. Based on the speed test that we put on our website, if you have, a 2 megabit per second upload speed, then maybe you're transferring around 1.5, you should be able to get about a gig done per hour. Now, of course, that varies a lot around a lot of different pieces of information, but let's just use that figure. That means 250 hours on average just to get that back up. So you have to run a 250-hour-long backup each time you do a new full image. That's really not that scalable or doable of an online backup session for you. Well, with continuous incrementals, you only run the full backup maybe once every quarter, maybe once a year. And then you just get these small incremental files. Maybe the incremental files every day are less than a gig. They're half a gig, it's that. Now you have a much more viable way to run a backup, an online backup, regularly for image-based backup systems. And if you need to recover, you could recover that information through our system. Recovery time could be long. Or you could call us up and say, hey, we need to cloud boot this thing. You let us know, what specific file you like to mount. We'll set up the server on our end, and bada bing, bada boom, we got you up and running. So moving right along for the schedule, we'll say continuous. And this is also how you set your RPO and RTO. So right now the RPO is set for 60 minutes. RTO is probably about the same. As long as, or at least, and your RTO would change depending on the recovery options you have. Your RTO, if you didn't lose your local backup server, is going to be a lot faster than the RTO if you did, and you have to go through us, or if you have to go, or if you have to download it. See it next. Now we have our compression and encryption